You ever have that feeling? Like you're doing everything right for your health, eating well, exercising, but something is still just off. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a hidden culprit that might just be the answer you've been looking for: mycotoxins. Let's get right into it. Does any of this sound familiar? I mean, you're eating clean, you're hitting the gym, but you're still just battling this bone-deep fatigue or allergies that just will not quit, or that awful nagging brain fog. But what if the problem isn't you? What if it's something invisible in your environment? So you've got this list, right? Chronic fatigue, weight that just won't budge, allergies that never seem to go away. We tend to think of these as all separate little battles we have to fight. But what if they're not? What if they're all just clues pointing to one single hidden cause? That's exactly what we're going to dive into. All right, so let's get into it. Let's start to peel back the layers on this unseen threat and figure out what is really going on here. Okay, I want you to get ready for this number because it's a big one. Recent research, and this is pretty cutting-edge stuff, has actually found fungal DNA inside tumors, and they've now linked up to 35 different types of cancer to fungi and the toxins they produce. I mean, wow. That is a total game changer, right? It completely shifts how we need to think about our health. So that brings us to the big question. What exactly is this invisible enemy we're talking about? Let's break down what mycotoxins actually are. Okay, so think of it like this. Mycotoxins are basically toxic little chemicals spit out by molds. But here's the really sneaky part, the reason they're so dangerous. You can't see them, you can't smell them, and you definitely can't taste them. They are completely and totally stealthy. All right, this is super important to understand. There's a huge difference between mold and mycotoxins. Mold is the actual living fungus, the fuzzy stuff you might see on a damp wall or some old bread. But mycotoxins, those are its invisible chemical weapons. It's what the mold releases when it gets stressed out. Maybe it's fighting for space or your immune system is trying to attack it. And here's the kicker. This means you can have these dangerous toxins floating around even if you can't see or smell a single speck of mold. That's a pretty scary thought. So what makes these things so dang tricky for our bodies to handle? Well, it's kind of a three-part problem. First off, they're fat soluble. That means your body, in its wisdom, says, I don't know what to do with this, and just stuffs it away in your fat cells for safekeeping. This makes them incredibly hard to get rid of. Second, they go right after your mitochondria. The little power plants inside your cells. They just wreck them. And that is why the fatigue is so deep and persistent. And finally, number three, they can actually cross the blood-brain barrier. They get right into your brain, and that's where that awful, frustrating brain fog comes from. Okay, so if these things are invisible, where in the world are they hiding? It's time to go on a little detective mission and uncover the most common places you'll find them. And it really comes down to a two-front war, right? You've got your environment, your home, your office, and you've got your food. And, especially if you live somewhere humid, your house can be a huge source. But what's really surprising to a lot of people is just how many common foods are also loaded with these things. So let's think about your own home for a second. Do you have any spots that get humid, over 50% humidity? Ever had a leaky pipe or some water damage? Even your AC system can be a breeding ground. And molds are sneaky. They love to hide in places you'd never think to look, like under the sofa, in the dirt of your houseplants, or even inside old cardboard boxes and books. It's definitely worth doing a little walkthrough of your own space. And then there's the food we eat every day. Now, a lot of us know about things like grains, peanut butter, and yeah, even coffee being potential culprits. But here's the one that gets me. Even healthy stuff like berries can be a significant source of mycotoxins. That's something that just doesn't get talked about enough. Okay, so we know where they hide. Now for the most important part. Let's connect the dots. How can you tell if these sneaky toxins are actually the cause of what's going on with you? Experts in this field have really boiled it down to 5 major red flags. So listen to this list. Number 1, those nasal allergies or sinus issues that just never, ever go away. 2, that deep, soul-crushing chronic fatigue we mentioned earlier. 3, the brain fog. 4, that chronic all-over pain that your doctor just can't seem to figure out. And number 5, this one's a weird one, tremors or even a feeling of internal vibrations. If you're nodding along to a few of these, it is a really strong sign you need to be looking at mycotoxins. But wait, it doesn't stop with that top 5 list. There are some other really surprising clues that are more under the radar.
For instance, are you struggling to lose weight no matter what you do? Well, it could be your body desperately holding onto fat to safely store these toxins. How about an overactive bladder? Yep, that can be caused by inflammation triggered by these toxins. And get this, even your hormones can get thrown way out of whack because some mycotoxins actually mimic estrogen in your body. Okay, now I have a very specific and maybe kind of weird question for you. I want you to really think about this for a second. Have you ever eaten something that's supposed to be super healthy, like garlic or onions or broccoli, and afterwards you actually felt worse?
Because here's the fascinating reason why that might happen. If those sulfur-rich foods make you feel crummy, it can be a really unique clue pointing to a specific mycotoxin called gliotoxin. See, this particular toxin, which is often tied to things like candida overgrowth in your gut, is already packed with sulfur. So when you eat more sulfur-rich foods, you're basically pouring gasoline on the fire. Your body just gets overloaded and overreacts. It's a really specific little clue, but a powerful one to pay attention to.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem. I think we've established it's a big deal. Now, let's switch gears and talk about solutions. What can you actually do about it? Let's get into your action plan for fighting back.
And the strategy is actually pretty straightforward. It's a simple two-pronged defense. Think of it like this. First, you play defense. You have to reduce your exposure and stop letting these things in. That means cleaning up your environment. Then, you play offense. You strengthen your body's own amazing detox systems so it can find and eliminate any of the toxins that have already gotten in.
So for your environment, for your defense, the mission is crystal clear. Step 1, hunt down and fix any water leaks immediately. Step 2, get a good dehumidifier and become obsessed with keeping your indoor humidity below 50%. Mold hates dry air. Step 3, an air purifier is your new best friend. It'll help grab those spores out of the air. And don't forget to regularly clean those hidden spots. Oh, and here's a super easy one. Those cardboard delivery boxes, they're like a luxury resort for mold. Get them out of your house as fast as you can.
Now for the offense, fortifying your body. The number one rule is you have to starve the fungus. That means cutting way back on sugar, which is its favorite food. At the same time, load up on good fats, which help rebuild your cells, and lots of fiber. Fiber acts like a sponge, binding onto these toxins and literally carrying them out of your body. And finally, certain probiotics are like a special forces team that can actually help break down and get rid of mycotoxins right in your gut.
So I want to leave you with this one final thought. We all think of our home as our safe haven, right? It's our sanctuary from the outside world. But when you're dealing with an invisible enemy like this, you have to ask yourself, is it? Is my home truly safe? Because looking into this, really investigating it, might just be the one thing that finally unlocks the answers to those health mysteries you've been chasing for so long.